doing, folks? It is the weekend on a Saturday. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm going to do another aquarium build. This one was a little bit unexpected. I had a family member that bought a Fluval Spec for me, and I thought that was real sweet. He said you could use a little desktop aquarium. Apparently my desktop is not, the feng shui is not looking too good, so but I'm happy to do it. I was stoked. I get to go put this together. So what I'm thinking of doing on this one is with this spec 2.6 gallon tank, all self-contained, and I've seen some people on fishtanktv.com use pool filter sand with a combination of root tabs and laterite. So I'm going to give that a shot. Got my pool filter sand all rinsed out, and then I've got my laterite here, which is rinsed out as well. I'm going to put a layer of laterite and pool filter sand down, and then I'm going to put some more sand on top of that. I've got my root tabs to supplement. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to try and see what happens. I did, just kind of on the way home during the week, picked up some Crypt Lutea from Petco. I don't know if you guys have ever tried it in a bag like this. I know it's probably not the best case, but these plants look pretty good. So I'm going to try planting them and see what happens and see how we do. I also, while I was there, picked up some narrow leaf Java Fern. I'm just going to tie that to a rock. I've never really bought plants like this. I usually get them from my local fish shop, so this will be interesting. Picked up my heater, picked up my thermometer, going to make this little Betta tank. And from the local fish shop, I did pick up some Anacharis that I'm going to plant in there as well. And 2 assassin snails you can see on the bottom here. That's another story there for another tank. I've got some issues with a pond snail outbreak on one of my tanks, so I'm going to see if they can help me. They're for hire, so hopefully they do a good job. But I'm going to get started on this build, guys. Kind of excited to have a little tank like this. Smallest I've ever had is a 10 gallon, so this should be interesting. Alright folks, so first step is done. I took my laterite and combined it with a little bit of pool filter sand, and what I did is make just a real small layer here. You can see there's not a whole lot of room there. So it's probably 1/4 of an inch, if that. It's just the sand mixed with the laterite. With the laterite, you know, they were saying that for every gallon, I was reading the back of the box on it, so it's saying that you know, for every gallon use an ounce of laterite. It's 2.6 gallon. So, you know, I just put 2 ounces in. I don't want to overdo it, but hopefully this will help. So first step is done. I'm going to put some other sand on this and think about my hardscape. I do have a piece of driftwood that I'm going to be putting in here. So first step, and let's keep going. Alright guys, I got my laterite down, and then I capped it with a little more pool filter sand. I had this piece of driftwood. I got to boil it again, which I'm working on. But I'm going to go with. So one nice thing about these little 2.6 gallons is you don't have to think too much about the hardscape. But what I'm kind of thinking is on the right-hand side, I'm going to put my narrow leaf Java Fern on the right on a rock, and behind this driftwood, I might put the Anacharis down in there just to cover up some of the back. The Crypt Lutea, I'm going to maybe put on the right side arm of this driftwood. But you can see it's about 1 inch on the substrate. So looking here, it does go down a little bit more past the base. So it's about 1 inch of that sand with the laterite under it. And I'm going to get these. I've got to boil the driftwood, but I'm going to it's braced against the back there, so hopefully it'll just waterlog itself. I don't have to soak it for a few days. I know there'll be tannins in there, and they'll come out, but I'm going to do some water changes and get all that out. So I'm going to put some of these plants in and get this thing boiled, and we'll move on to the next step. Alright guys, so here's kind of what I'm thinking. I just tested the light, working okay, no problem. I've got my driftwood inside. It's going to soak. I'm going to run this tank for a while with the plants in before I add any fish, but you know, and hopefully this is not too much on the Crypt Lutea. But I've got the Crypt Lutea there in front, one other piece in the back, and the Anacharis on the right and left hand sides. Just to start, what I'm going to do here is just kind of get it going, get the pump running, and you know, I'm going to have to water change out. I know that driftwood might get a little bit messy, so I'll have to water change some things out, but coming together. Folks, here's the final product. This project I've been working on for a few hours, getting it set up, but finally happy with what I've got going on here. I've got the Anacharis or Elodea in the back, rooted down. I've got the Crypt in the front, and then I've got the narrow leaf Java Fern on the driftwood. One of them on the right I could easily just put in there, kind of stick in a crevice. The one on the left I had to tie with fish line. Hopefully the roots will find, the rhizome and the roots will find that driftwood. Thermometer I'm going to move to the bottom right hand corner in a little while. I'm going to do a few water changes to clear this out and for the plants over the next few days, but I am going to move the thermometer. Got a heater in the back, just a little one, little 10 water Aquarium. And whether I'll run that, I don't know. It depends on the temperature of the water. But did add some root tabs. I've got the laterite on the very bottom, but I did add 1.5 root tabs. I was using the API root tabs. Didn't want to go overboard on them, but I took 1.5 and broke them apart into quarters and just put them where where the bunches of the plants are. So that's what I'm rolling with. Looking pretty good. Fun project for the day. If there's something I did wrong, again, I'm only about 5 years in the hobby here. This is my first nano tank. Please comment. Let me know. Otherwise, we'll keep you updated. I'm here to learn, so any tips you guys have for me, please leave them. And let me know if I can do something different or if I might have missed a step somewhere. Hope you guys have a great night. Alright, she's all set up. Got her on the desk. And this should work out pretty well. I did a water change on it last night. I've got to do another one in a day or two. But the plants are coming through pretty good. Growth's looking great. Some of the laterite I noticed is coming up through the sand, but I'm sure that's natural. There's a few little brown spots. But other than that, this Elodea is already growing. If you can see on this side here, I've got a new stem on the Elodea coming out. 2 of them actually coming up toward the top of the tank. And this has only been set up in a few days. So this really is, this Elodea or Anacharis is really a fast growing plant. I did take one small piece, cut the tip off and have that down on the bottom. Still no fish. I'm going to probably, after another water change in a few more days, put an assassin snail in here. And then a little bit of food for him to eat. That can maybe, I think, help the cycle. But these are cool, these little Fluval Specs. The only thing that I had to do is I ordered off of Amazon. I got a smaller gravel cleaner because there's just not a lot of space in there, and I can't use the same gravel vacs, which I'm not going to disturb the sand too much, but in terms of water changes, they're just too big. So I got a smaller one, and we'll keep you guys updated. But so far, looking pretty good. You guys have a great night.